Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I found this a couple of days ago, and it's much too good to pass up. We could all learn a lesson from our dogs. No matter what life brings you, kick some grass over that doo-doo and move on. I love it. Morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith. God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. I've got a cold today, so you need to call in and talk to me. Help me. And a good morning to you and yours, Zebel. And I'm, of course, representing Zeb at the Ranch. Good morning to you with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Without further ado, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have a very, very distinct and friendly voice, and I appreciate that. God bless you for your call. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Wheels, how are we coming through on the feed line? Listen closely. Do we need to call back, or is it crackly, or what?
Yeah, if you want to, let's go ahead and call back in. It is a little raspy.
All right, I'm going to call you right back. Play some music quickly and give me the line. I'll call you right back. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
All right, how's that?
That sounds lovely.
Okay.
I will go ahead and put you...
All right, good.
All right.
Oh, my, here we are. Thank you. We had to change lines. Occasionally we get a bad phone line. And right now it's time for the weather, brought to you by K&R Rental. And they're located at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Number to call, Roger and the crew, 678-3122. And they're open Monday through Saturdays. And they start early in the morning at 7 a.m. So get on over there for all your tools, your equipment, all the way from forklifts to lawnmowers. And they've got the knowledge and experience to get the right tools for you. They've been in business since 1979. And right now, here's the weather.
This morning it's going to be a little bit on the stormy side, but after that we're moving into sunny skies now through the Labor Day weekend. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are looking at isolated rain showers and thunderstorms before noon. After that, everything's going to clear out. Looking at mostly sunny skies. A little bit on the breezy side. Could have gusts possible as 21 miles an hour. High of 89 for today. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low of 54. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 88. Then Saturday through Labor Day Monday, sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Doesn't sound too bad. And good morning, K&R Rental, our sponsor of our weather, to kick things off in the morning. Honda engine dealer, too, and they've got all the parts that you might need for your wheel lines, boys. Don't forget K&R Rental. Morning to them over in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-3122. Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle. Let's hear from you.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all the 31 woman, 31 going out, 30.
I tell you what, I could listen to him chant that auction chant forever. World's best auctioneer, in my opinion. Merv May over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv May, Cade, Rogge, Lance, Udy, the sale that works for you. And here's what we have for some of the cattle going through the ring today. Brian Kincaid out of Connor Creek's bringing in 30 head of real good 500-pound calves. Elison Ranch is over to Holbrook. Good morning, good people over there. A semi-load of butcher cows. Dale Price out of Malad bringing in 20 head of butcher cows. And we've got butcher cows coming in from Acme Dairy, TLK Dairy, Oak Valley Dairy. Sale time at 11 o'clock, including the trailer line run. Be there at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-9411. The sale that works for you. Sale time, 11 o'clock today. Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, a good set of steer calves there. Here to $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and a selling $35. Zeb Bell get the bottom.
No, he's good. He is good. You know, I apologize. My throat's going to get a little raspy-er through the program. Once a year in the summer, I get a good cold. And boy, did I. Yesterday, I felt it coming on. And I said, baby, look out. This is going to be a dandy. Anyway, your calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244. 1-866-927-4587. Real quick, I want to get this on the air. George Mass is going to have, along with his great help, the second annual Patriotic Car Show and Swap Meet. And this is scheduled for Saturday, September 9th, just a matter of a few days. And it's standing for the red, white, and the blue. In, and of course, on the Rupert Historic Square, sponsored by the City of Rupert, Combat Vets Association, Rupert Veterans Memorial. They're going to have classic cars there. They're going to have Voom Voom race cars there, and a flag retirement, entertainment, food. Oh, it's going to be a good day on the Rupert Square, September 9th, second annual Patriotic Car Show and Swap Meet. You know, I'm thinking about food this morning because I had one meal yesterday, and that was last evening. I didn't have time. I left the program and zipped right to a meeting that lasted all afternoon yesterday. Got so hungry at that meeting, I wanted to chew on my Eversharp. And, boy, I'd love to be sitting down at Denny's restaurant right now at 611 North Overland in Burley and pick up the menu and just start looking and drooling and going, yeah, buddy, I'm not hungry anymore. I'll tell you what, you look at that and then get the plate of food in front of you. It is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Great people, nice location. And it's America's Diner. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, anytime, all the time. Denny's Restaurant. And later on this morning at 9:15, we're going to have our Denny's Restaurant football trivia contest where you can win a Grand Slam breakfast. So don't forget that at 9:15 this morning. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I couldn't believe my ears. I couldn't believe my eyes on television last night. And especially from the Eastern Ivy League schools, Yale, Harvard, and Princeton. What am I talking about? I'll get to it in just a moment. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They're open at 7:30 in the morning. Oh, my. They have all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Everything. And I urge you to stop in where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Like I said, they're open 7:30 in the morning and always there to serve you. And we are going to be over there for our remote broadcast for Patriots Week on September 14th. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You stop in and see them today. I got home and we were sitting down in the living room last night, and I turned the TV on, and all of a sudden, here is a professor, a Princeton University professor on television, saying that he is telling students to, now careful now, this might upset the apple cart when I tell you this. He's telling students to think for themselves and not be led by groupthink. Whoa, wait a minute. This is too much to handle. We're finally starting to see and hear the right professors tell the left and their absolute brain-dead, follow-the-group, run-off-a-cliff attitude to not groupthink anymore, but do your own investigation, do your own research, and come up with what you determine are truths. Whoa! This is really good, and it's heavy. This is really heavy because professors from all three of those universities, Yale, Princeton, and Harvard, got together. I think the number's minuscule, but the power behind it is very maximum. I think there was about 16 of them agreed, hey, you know what, these kids today, they're not thinking for themselves, they're just kind of joining into a mass program of idiocy. This could be so dynamic and so powerful, telling young people to get a good education and pursue the truth. Don't follow the rat packs over the cliff. Maybe this doesn't mean as much to you as I just thought about this, and it might be. We could possibly be on a trail back to sanity in this country. Instead of having these goofy millennials with their pants hanging down and their earlobes about 9 feet too long and following the rat pack and standing out there breaking windows or asking for money out of a tin cup because they're too lazy to go to work, maybe we might start to see a little transition here. Wow. Let me ask Wheels, I'm starting to hear more static again. Is it coming back, Wheels?
Yeah, it is. It was great when you had called in, and then right as soon as we went to air, then it started getting raspy again.
All right, I'm going to try another line. I will not put up with any of that raspiness on the air. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one more commercial real quick, and then I'll call you back. Are you ready with some music?
Yes, sir.
All right, stand by. Zollinger Quarter Horse sales coming up on September 9th. Oh, that is going to be a ripping good sale on Saturday, September the 9th, 29th annual production sale of the best doggone working horses in the area. Great minds, confirmation, abundance of color. They know what to do. They can get the job done. I don't care if you're using them for roping, cutting, working cow horse, or just want to get out on the weekends and ride the trails. These horses have been brought up in the rocks, and they know where to put their feet. These are good horses. Zollinger Quarter Horse Ranch sale, 29th annual production sale, September 9th. Preview at 10, sale at 11 up at the ranch at 1994 South, 100 east of Oakley. You be there. Wheels, I'm going to turn the line off and call you right back. So play some music. I'll be right there in 10 seconds.
All right, hopefully third time's the charm.
All right, here we go.
All right.
All righty. Thanks, Wheels. I hope this line is a little better. How's it sounding over there at the main studios?
It sounds clear.
All right.
There's no raspiness going now, so let's rock with it.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Let me know if there's any change. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. On a day like this, when I get a little bit of raspiness in my throat and everything, come on, give me a call. Please bail me out of a wreck here this morning, if you would. I'd love to visit with you. I was really shocked that yesterday in the USA Today, on the front page of the sports page, there was an article about college football athletes possibly leading into a no stand or no respect for our national anthem. And it was almost like this article in USA Today was beckoning for them to create problems. I don't know your feelings about the athletes like Colin Kaepernick and the pros taking a knee during our anthem, and then other idiots of his ilk doing the same thing and showing complete disrespect for the country, the United States of America, that has given them every opportunity to become multimillionaires. But now if this is even considered by college athletes, I think and I hope the NCAA and the coaching staffs of the respective schools, if this happens, throw those players off the field into the locker room and not to play again, or a severe punishment. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, the viewing public is down on the NFL. But if this starts collegiately, and you have the major schools, let's just name a couple, like Florida State or Alabama or USC or Wisconsin or any of them, start to show the disrespect for our country and our flag, this is going to be absolutely critical as to whether or not football is going to succeed on television. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Could we change the subject just a little bit?
You always do this to me, Keith. You always do this to me, and I don't like it, but I'll let you do it one more time, and that's it. I'm serious.
Well, it's about this flood there in Texas. And I am really disturbed by the fact that they come on TV early this morning and said that there was at least one house that has been replaced 4 times by the United States government because they did not have flood insurance. Now, what in the world is wrong with these people? They live in this area, they know there's dangers there, but yet they continue to do the same things they do. They might say they can't afford it, but...
Well, the Houston area, unless you've never been... Yeah, I know. Hang on a second, Keith. The Houston area, unless you've never been there, is really a low flood-prone area. I mean, man, if anything's going to flood, it's going to be the Houston area, and it's going to get a lot of deep water with very little rainfall causing the trouble. In this case, it's a lot of rainfall, 50 inches of water, and the reservoirs and the canal systems down there, they can't handle it. But for people to keep moving back into a floodplain and to keep expecting that they need remuneration, I'm like you, I'm a little bit sketchy on this as to whether or not we should keep paying the bill.
Well, that's just the way I feel too, Zeb, because it's just not right that we should have to keep paying for it, because eventually it's going to come out of our pocket, right?
Why isn't it now? It's not eventually, it is now.
No, I mean, well, should I put it a different way? It's going to continue to be the same thing because these people don't learn.
Well, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute.
System works.
We don't want to say these people. I'm very offended by that terminology. And Wheels, we're getting some feedback here, if you would, please. I will not say these people so it encompasses all the folks down there. That's not true. There are certain individuals, and leave it at that. But do not say these people. There are a lot of people right now that are suffering, that have lost everything. They didn't ask for it. You can't blame them for moving into an area. It's the abusers continually of the system that we're after. So don't say these people in general, because, boy, there's a lot of heartbreaking stories down there. And I, for one, starting Monday, we're going to have more of a consolidated effort to help those folks down there that just absolutely have lost everything. I mean, I honestly can't even absorb the mental anguish that they're going through right now.
Well, how can you describe them if you don't call them these people? Because it encompasses everybody. I realize that.
No, but
these people, you and I know who we're talking about.
I know, but certain individuals
who do things right.
Certain individuals would, I think, encompass the problem that you're talking about. Certain individuals of a use and abuse. But, boy, when I heard a story this morning about the baby, a little baby that was clinging on to her mother, and her mother had drowned. This was an 18-month-old baby just clinging for dear life on the back of her mother, who had drowned and was hung up basically on a tree branch. And it brought tears to my eyes, the absolute human misery that's going on down there.
Yeah, and you know what is really tragic? These con artists have taken this as a real opportunity to, like, for instance, they discovered one that had collected over $600,000 and only paid like 1%.
Yeah.
To where it should go.
Well,
and that is so bad because people are so generous.
I agree with you, but I'm still going to do all I can for contributions to help that area, and I'm going to explain it more on Monday. Thank you, Keith, for your call. I appreciate it. Want to remind everybody about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call, 678-1191. They will help you get back to being you. I don't know if you're a tap dancer or a polka dancer or whatever, but, you know, if you did that before, well, you want to do it again, well, then you better get in there. I'll tell you what. They helped me a lot. I cannot overemphasize what they did after my surgery to help me get back and get going again, especially with the use of that hydrotherapy pool. Absolutely excellent. Nick Greenwell and the rest of the great physical therapists there, yes, they can help you get back to being you. Call them today, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Burley, waiting right now to serve you. Give them a call. I'm waiting for your phone calls, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to talk to you about phone messages on your telephone and see if you're having the same problem. You talk about frustration. Oh, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. They are the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cassia area, and they are really able to provide more one-on-one care. Absolutely. And they invite you to come by and visit their facility anytime for tours, and they make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place for your loved one. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert, 436-3200. You come home from a long day of driving around, taking care of business, seeing clients and other businesses, and you go in and you check your phone answering machine, and out of the many phone calls that I had on my answering machine, almost half of the calls yesterday were messages left on my phone regarding, "Hi, I can help you with your student loan debt," or, "Are you aware that you now have no coverage because your auto warranty is not in effect?" And it goes on every day. It goes on every day. And then the funniest one yesterday, when I was listening to all these messages on the phone, it wasn't a robocall electronic voice. It was an actual live person. And this person calls up and says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so company. Hello? Are you there? I can hear you. Hello? Are you there? I know I can hear you. I can hear you breathing." And we were not home all day yesterday after the program. And these nincompoops, they just absolutely saturate my tape and my answering machine. "Hello? I can hear you. I can hear you breathing." I don't know how to get rid of these people. I put my name down. I don't want to be called with those things. And it just seems like the list expands and they keep on calling and calling and calling. Call me. I'd love to hear if somebody else is having the same problem. I haven't been in school for over 50 years. We can help you with your student loan debt. Ay. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. "Hi, I can hear you. I can hear you breathing." Okay. What would you think, and please give me a call on that, if your child came home from elementary school and said that they had really got ripped on by the teacher because during a break in the class they were talking about God and Jesus. And the teacher came over and really ripped on the kids and said, don't you ever say God or Jesus in my classroom or around my classroom ever again. Woo! These are kids in elementary school, and they were talking about evidently some Sunday school activities, of which many of them go to the same church. It's in McCordsville, Indiana, a small town of about 6,000 people. And I'm sure at small town, 6,000 people, a lot of people go to the same church, and they all know each other, etc. Well, this teacher took it upon herself and said, don't you ever mention God or Jesus in school again. And all of a sudden, there was a rush to the principal's office and the superintendent, and Dr. Robbins at Mount Vernon Community School Corporation really had to try to put this fire out. And he said, to simply summarize, our employees can neither advance nor inhibit religious views. Trying to limit a student's views on religion is a violation of a student's First Amendment rights. However, if the discussion becomes an academic disruption, then as a district we can intervene to maintain the integrity of the educational process while at the same time being sure not to violate a student's constitutional rights. In other words, this teacher was absolutely dead wrong in what she had done. And they're debating as to how to reprimand the teacher. And the parents, I don't blame them. They're out for blood right now. How dare this teacher demand of those kids and reprimand and scold them, basically, for mentioning God or Jesus in her class. And it was not during a subject lesson or during any other kind of class activity. What are your thoughts on this? 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, you got to help me a little bit today because my throat is a little raspy and sore, and I'd sure appreciate hearing from you, so give me a jingle. Berry Equipment and Rental. We're going to have them featured on our Business Salute later on this morning. Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts, 3 locations, Jerome, Twin Falls, and, of course, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. And they do have all the equipment to get any job done right. All the shapes and sizes of the various Bobcat excavators, new and used, for sale or rent. And I've got to get in and get a Bobcat excavator and bring it home and start working. I know what you're thinking. Lookout property, lookout barn, lookout house. No, I'm going to take the advice and go out in the back sandbox there at Berry and learn how to run it. They have all the equipment right there at Berry Equipment and Rental. South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
I want a complete report on my desk at 6 o'clock tonight as to why you haven't called in for the last few days. I don't want excuses. I want an exact theme on why I should have called.
I was at Wilmington, North Carolina.
That's a pretty good excuse.
I was doing some fishing offshore. And
really?
toured North Carolina, the battleship.
Oh,
talk about an experience.
You know, I have been all over the East Coast, and man, I'm telling you, fishing off the coast in the Atlantic, I mean, did you catch anything?
Oh, we caught a flounder. My beautiful bride caught about a 2.5-foot shark.
Oh, not in my boat.
Oh, yeah, and we caught some sea bass.
Really?
I landed a octopus.
Oh, how big was that dude?
Oh, it was really weird looking at it, and that we turned him back in. But
yeah.
And then I caught a flounder, about a 28-inch flounder.
Holy cow! I want to go back to the octopus. I mean, they look to me like you don't want to put a hook in them because that means you got to take the hook out of them.
Oh yeah, but this one spit it out. Once you got him in the net, he spit the hook out. But we watched him a little bit and then turned him back loose. And
how big was he?
Caught an eel.
Oh, really?
About a 2-foot long eel. Boy, those things are
ugly.
Well, yeah.
And they've got teeth worse than a vampire.
They remind you of a Democrat on steroids.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Mouth wide open.
Yeah.
No backbone to back it up.
How far off the coast were you? How far off the shoreline?
About 2 miles.
Really?
We could still see the shore real easy. We had about 8-foot waves. It was rocking and a-rolling.
You know, right there you've lost me because I'm not that big a fan of the water. And how big a boat are you talking about? If you're talking about a little 8-foot boat, man, you're nuts.
No.
Okay.
No, this is one that's designed to go out in the ocean, the deck.
Oh.
If water comes in, then it goes to the back and runs right out the boat.
And so do the guys that are fishing.
Yeah, pretty much. It was hang on with one end, hold the pole with the other.
Not yours truly. Can you imagine a fat rodeo announcer on crutches trying to land a fish without falling off the back of the boat?
Well, I looked like I should have been on crutches half the time and didn't even have them with me when I tried to walk around.
Oh, my. Well, what can I do for you this morning?
Well, calling in about those robocalls.
Yeah.
I get one every once in a while about my credit card.
Oh, really?
There's nothing wrong with your credit card. We can help you.
Yeah.
And then let me see if I need to take this or if it's another.
Oop. Another call coming in.
It's a robocall.
All right, well, hang up on the robos.
So anyway, I said, I pushed the number one time. I wasn't doing much. I pushed the number, and the guy comes on. He says, yeah, you're paying way too much interest on your credit card. We can help you lower that. And I said, really? How much interest am I paying? Well, you're paying around 18%. I said, you sure about that?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, it was a lot less.
Uh-huh.
Would you double check? Well, give me just a minute.
Uh-huh.
He comes back and he says, yeah, he says, it's 18.75, so what you're paying. And I said, really? I says, wait, I got it figured. I'm paying zero because I don't even have a credit card.
You know, Wheels over at the station, I'm getting a little feedback there, buddy. Watch that. You know, what really infuriates me, though, is that I have asked, and I've punched the press 1 if you don't want any more calls from this company. I've pressed that number till I'm blue in the face. And then what gets me the most, Doug, I'm 69 years old. I have never had any student debt. I paid for my college education in cash out of my own checking account. And I get some stupid nitwit saying, we can help you get over your very, very serious college debt.
Yeah, I got one of those too the other day. So I had some time and had, need some entertainment. So I pushed the button and they got on. And I said, oh, really? I said, when was my debt accrued? And he gave me, I said, no. I says, at that time I was about 40 years old. And I said, besides that, I didn't even go to college.
Well, actually, what they were doing is charging you back to kindergarten.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And the one I love is the people that will call and say, you're pre-qualified for this much money.
I've had many of those. Yeah. You know, the one that really got me was yesterday, though. This girl, this woman, and she absolutely thought somebody had picked up the phone, and she spent about 2 minutes on the tape saying, hello, I can hear you. I hear you breathing. Speak to me. Hello. Nobody was home.
That's what you got to do on your answering messages. Do the answering message and then do about 5-6 seconds of
No. For sure, I'd have the wrong person call. Never mind. No, I don't want that to happen.
Okay, we won't go there.
Okay, Doug,
anyway, I enjoyed the time back there and missed listening to you and all the people out here, and I hope everybody had a good time at Lunch Bunch. Sorry I couldn't make it. We was headed to Boise to catch a plane.
Well, it's hard to catch those when they're headed down the runway, but if you did it, I compliment you.
We about did it. Denver coming back.
Oh, my. That is my least, I got to tell you this, that is my least favorite airport.
Denver?
Yep.
Oh,
I don't like it.
It is spread out.
It is all in one or the opposite direction, and it's not easy to get there to your connecting flight on time.
Yep, most of them aren't.
All right, buddy. Hey.
Anyway, God bless everybody.
Hey, by the way, talk to me more about that fishing back there because, man, a shark. What kind of a shark did she catch quickly?
I think you said a sea shark.
Well, aren't they all in the sea?
2.5 foot long. It was probably, as big around as, say about like an 8-inch pipe, 6-inch pipe.
Really?
Yeah, long and slender. Boy, it took her a little while to get it pulled in. It was pulling down on the pole pretty good.
Oh, my.
And then we cooked them up the other night, the night before we left to come back, and that shark was good.
You ate him?
Yes.
You ate Jaws 3?
Yes, we did.
Oh, my goodness.
Jaws.
I'll tell you what, all in the background while you're cooking, you could hear, dum, 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 dum. I got to run. I'm late, Doug. Thanks. Okay, buddy. Thank you much. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I don't like the ocean. I know a lot of you go. I like dry land. Deanne and I went on a cruise, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Maybe it was even longer. I can't remember. And we were getting off at one of the ports. And you had to use a shuttle boat from the main cruise liner to get to shore. And you had to go down these, a guy on crutches on those rickety stairs. Woo! Well, getting down in the boat, I got fine. Everything was cool. But going up, I was using those cable handrails instead of my crutches to get up those stairs, and the cable had kind of a little kink in it, and it gave way. And honestly, without exaggeration, Deanne's right here, she can tell you, I started going over the railing into the ocean between the cruise liner and the little transfer boat. Now, I had great visions of real sad joy going through my head. Woo, baby, look out below. But I don't like the water. And they had said, and we had seen sharks swimming in the water. And I did not want to go into the same water where there were sharks. I could have been very easily the first talk show host ever in the history of radio to walk on water all the way to shore. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had a kind of a real strange occurrence yesterday. I want to talk to you about it just for a minute because it all ties into my sponsor, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. I don't know how to describe it in professional terms, but what's the matter, Deanne? All staticky? Wheels, are we having static again? You didn't tell me.
No, yeah, it was perfectly fine when you were talking to Doug and everything, and then it just started up when we were airing the commercial. All
right, well, I'll tell you what, we're not going to go any further with this static because it's absolutely terrible. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you hit the music button again, and I'm going to call you back because I want to give Christine Pickup a real nice commercial this morning. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. All right, how's that sound?
I'm not hearing anything.
All right, let's go with it.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness, we're back on the air. I apologize. Sometimes we hit a day where the phone lines are as worthless as two paper cups on a string. Yesterday, I had some problems with my right ear. In a matter of fact, I don't know the proper terminology and everything as to what happened, but it was almost like my ear and my hearing canal going to my eardrum had a wedgie. I don't know how to describe it. I couldn't hear out of it. And I called the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup over at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. She said, come right over, and we'll take care of it. And by golly, she did. She is so fantastic with hearing and sound and what's going on in your ears. Oh, I urge you to get on over there. Make an appointment at 312-0957 at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. If you're having any trouble with your ears and hearing, You don't want to miss anything. She can and she will help you. I urge you to get a hearing screening today. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Number to call, 312-0957. And I know she's listening because she's working helping her grandpa and grandma this morning. I absolutely applaud her because this morning I can hear. Here's the weather. Thank you.
This morning it's going to be a little bit on the stormy side, but after that we're moving into sunny skies now through the Labor Day weekend. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are looking at isolated rain showers and thunderstorms before noon. After that, everything's going to clear out. Looking at mostly sunny skies. A little bit on the breezy side. Could have gusts possible as 21 miles an hour. High of 89 for today. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low of 54. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 88. Then Saturday through Labor Day Monday, sunny skies, highs are going to be in the mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, the only locally owned and independent hearing healthcare practice in southern Idaho. And when it comes to sound, and when it comes to hearing and your hearing healthcare, nobody better than Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Make an appointment today, 312-0957. Oh, come on. Give me a call. Visit with me at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd love to hear from you. Let's see. What else have we got in the news this morning? You want to hear how low politics is and how much lower it might go? When I heard this, I thought it was a joke, and I hope it is a joke. But Jerry Springer... You know who Jerry Springer is. I mean, he is the low-classed host of one of the lowest-class TV programs, I think, ever in the history of television. He is absolutely considering running for the governorship of Ohio. I could not believe it when I heard this. Jerry Springer as the governor of Ohio. Oh, my. Makes you want to float a boat someplace other than here, doesn't it? Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Okay, on the count of three, is it doing it again? Wheels, you got to tell me, buddy.
It's staticky. It pops in, and then it will be clear, and then it will pop out, and it's... I don't know how to...
All right, well, you did explain it, and I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to ride this until 9 o'clock, and then I'll switch again, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
All right, we'll do the best we can with what we have. It might be the inclement weather coming in. It might be anything with a lot of electricity in the air for possible thunderstorms. I don't know, but hopefully we can get the problem eradicated during the 9 o'clock news. Caller, I think I hear somebody over at the station. Wheels, is that call for me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead. Caller, talk to me.
Yeah, well, anyway, Zeb, you know, our whole problem could be solved in this country if the people we elect would honor their oath of office to uphold the U.S. Constitution. I'll just give you a couple examples. Federal spending, Article 1, Section 8, specifically says where the federal government can spend money. Well, obviously that's been stretched beyond unbelief, like foreign aid, even education is supposed to be at the state level. And, of course, Article 4, Section 4, Zeb, as you know, says that it would prevent an invasion. It doesn't say military invasion.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing in all of these unvetted refugees or poorly vetted refugees, which has been going on for years, is going to bring on disaster. Article 4, Section 4 says that our politicians protect us against invasion. So, you know, we need to really step up to the plate. We need more citizen involvement. And, you know, I've been involved in this a long time, as you well know, Zeb, and it's just, so many people say, well, I don't want to get involved in politics. It's not politics. It's our freedom. It's our liberty.
Well, let me jump in here.
You have to make that phone call or that email
to
your elected officials at all levels. If If you don't like the city budget, go down there and protest it at the city when they have those meetings.
Yeah.
And right now, I can tell you, Agenda 21 is coming to a community, your community, Twin Falls. Every community is in the process of working out a plan called Smart Growth. That's part of Agenda 21.
Right.
You know, where they're going to determine the value of your property without much of your input.
Well, I'm not going to... Whoa, Adrian, wait a minute. Adrian, let me get in here a little bit, and because I'm running out of time and I want to make some points. I want to stick with one point you made already, and you and I totally agree on this. I find it very offensive to myself, my wife, my family, my neighbors, my neighborhood, my community, my area that I live in, that we are being told by those that supposedly have been in power or are in power that we should welcome all refugees and immigrants with a great big open hand and say, oh, come on in, everything's free, we'll pay for your housing, we'll pay for your education, we'll pay for the first little bit of food and your transportation and everything. Wait a minute, this country is trying to come back from being on the precipice of falling into the abyss of being totally broke. And I also want to know who these people are. I have had the experts on my program, Adrian. Every one of them, I don't care who it is, have said no. The vetting process is far, far from secure, and we don't know who's here. And I get really miffed when I have former legislators or former judges or anything else telling me I'm wrong because I'm concerned about the welfare of my family.
Well, absolutely. And the main duty or function of government is protection of life and property. I mean, end of discussion. When you get down to the local level, it's your local sheriff. And he is your last safeguard between a federal Gestapo. If your sheriff buckles in under to allow the federal marshals or something to come in and take care of a situation, this is why the sheriff down there that was just pardoned by Trump, I mean, he probably protected countless people from bodily harm, if not being killed. And, of course, that's, you can't do that. And so they trumped up these charges, and President Trump did the right thing to, let him off of that situation and give him a pardon. But, the sheriff is a very important elected office. It is
That's
probably
right.
the most important elected office. We've got to have good sheriffs that are going to tell the federal government, take a hike. We don't want you in here.
I got to run and do a commercial, but you're spot on, and I'm getting really, really upset on this program of having people in higher positions of politics condemn me and my thinking because I'm concerned about my community, and I'm going to fight back every way I can. Adrian, thank you for your call. I got to run.
You bet.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget our major sponsor. And by the way, if the line sounds a little fuzzy, Wheels and I are going to try to work on that during the 9 o'clock news. I want to thank our major sponsor, and that's, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations. They've got kind of a tagline right now that says, get where you're going this summer. And then I added to it and then said, turn around, come home safely. Well, I'll tell you what, with all the tires they have for you at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Holy cow, we're talking about tires for your car, pickup, SUV, camp trailers, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever. They know tires. They've graduated from a course in tireology, and they know exactly what's going to fit your driving needs. So please stop in and see them today and talk to them also about the best in brake service, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, and batteries. But above all, they really serve you. So stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Coming up next hour, we've got a visit with Kyla over at the Chamber of Commerce. And then, of course, at 9:16, our Denny's America's Diner football trivia question. You might win a Grand Slam breakfast. Tune in for that. 9:30, we're going to have the lovely Rita Ramsey on our program and all kinds of goodies for the rest of the morning. And then at 10:32 this morning, I'm really looking forward to a lady on the phone by the name of Jamie Pride. And we're going to be talking to her over at Ark Animal Hospital about a real serious and dangerous problem right now, and that's rabies. And the bats that have been found carrying rabies and how it could be a deadly transference to you, me, and our other animals. So don't miss that. Right now, we're going to send it back to Wheels. Wheels, what I'm going to do is call you back in just a couple of minutes. We'll try to reestablish a hopefully better line. And stay tuned for the CBS News. We'll see you in about 7 minutes. Oh, morning. Wheels, I think maybe we found a good line, did we not? He's gone.
Oh, yeah, I had to pop on my headphones there for a second, but yeah, it sounds great. You sound clear as day.
All right, you let me know. Hey, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell. We had a little trouble with the phone lines this morning, and sometimes they go all cottony and fuzzy. Our major sponsor, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you great people, and some of our great advertisers, including Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
Oh, my goodness, always at your disposal. You know, so many things to talk about, whether it's the route service, get on the route service, have your garbage picked up weekly, whether it's the dumpsters in case you're wanting to clean out the house before Thanksgiving and Christmas and get everything all ship-shape, or whether it might be the Go Minis to storage units or whatever, porta potties, they handle it all. Great staff, too. Very loyal to the community and the people that they serve. Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them 734-6969. Really nice people. We're going to go over to the Chamber of Commerce in just a moment, but I also want to remind you about some folks that are just so good to work with and absolutely community-oriented. And that's, of course, our friends at Hanson Mortuary. And Joel Heward, his staff, and his family serving you at 710 6th Street in Rupert. For years and years, they've been on this program, and they are always involved in the different community events and always there to serve you with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Now, when there's the passing of a loved one, that is such a difficult and tumultuous time. They can and they will help you. Please remember the number to call, 436-5636. 436-5636, Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Right now, a good morning to a lovely lady. We went through the eclipse. We've been through the 4th of July. We've been through fair season. And now here's Kyla at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, gosh, Deb, we're going to switch it up on you today. You've got Chris, but I hope you don't mind.
Let me start that introduction all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been through heck and high water, and here's Chris Fox.
Thanks so much, Zeb. Well, by the way, I just want to say how much I enjoy your program. I listen to it almost every morning at home and then in my car on the way to work. So kudos to you for doing such a great job.
Your check is in the mail.
I want to give a couple of shout-outs for some new chamber members, and Panda Express has come on board. And so that's really exciting because sometimes it's a little difficult to get corporate businesses on, but Panda Express is really wanting to play a part in the community, and so we're excited about that. And then we also had Sophie's Chatterbox come on board, and we just love Sophie, and I want to remind everybody what a great bakery they have there, and also their breakfasts are amazing. So we're excited about those new 2 members, and we're actually looking forward to Labor Day weekend. I'm sure you are as well.
You know, Chris, by the way, for your comments, your kind comments, your check is in the mail. Please don't cash it till next week on Thursday. But I am looking forward to Labor Day weekend with kind of a bittersweet approach, because it signifies the end of summer as we know it and going into fall and winter. So I'm not sure I'm real tickled about it.
Well, I agree with you 100%, and I don't know if this rule really is a rule, but one of the saddest things for me, and I'm sure it's a big concern for you, is that I hate to put away my white pants.
I honestly never had a pair of white pants.
That makes me so happy, Zeb. I'm glad to know that you would not have a pair of white pants.
I don't know too many cowboys that would wear a pair of white Wranglers, my dear, and you've touched territory that I don't think any buckaroo would ever go.
Well, I think that's good news for all the women out there. There are a couple things, though, that I want to highlight. Not everybody gets to take off and go out of town, but really, there are some short day trips around here that, we want to remind people about, and that is, if you haven't been out to City of Rocks this summer, or you haven't been to Castle Rock State Park, or maybe you haven't been to Durfee Hot Springs, they're just quick little jaunts out of town. You can get a great meal there at the Tracy General Store, and they just do a great job up in that area. So it's a fun place to take your family. You can climb Bass Rock, and you could even roast hot dogs out there if you wanted. But it really is, there are things to do here. You could take a trip out to Lake Walcott, and maybe you do want to just mow your lawn and pull weeds. That's fine, but for me, that seems like that's a waste of a good Labor Day.
What you just said, though, Chris, is something that both my wife and I were talking about just the other evening on our porch. We have never, in all the years that I've been in the rodeo business, up until I retired, we never really took the time to get in the car and just not point in any direction in particular, but just go and see things. And we're going to start doing that.
We really have some amazing things here, and I do think that we don't always take advantage of it. And I don't know if everybody in the area knows this, but our stretch of the Snake River here in the Mini-Cassia area has more boat docks than any other stretch. I mean, there's just a lot to do and see. Even if you just drove up toward Palmerell and ended up at Lake Cleveland, or you could even go clear to the top at Mount Harrison, you need to take time to look around and see really how blessed and lucky we are to be in this wonderful area. When you get up to the top of Mount Harrison, you can see clear over to Sun Valley, and it's a beautiful view because you can see all the farms. And, of course, this time of year it's really pretty with the grain that's being cut and harvest getting ready to go. So I just would encourage all the people in the area to take time to really enjoy what we have here.
I couldn't agree more, and that's so well stated, because sometimes I've traveled all over the world, literally, in my other business announcing, and you go other places like Jerez, Spain, Madrid, and London, and you say, well, I've been here, did the Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been all over the world, and Canada, United States, and then sometimes somebody will say, well, have you been here? And I go, no, I missed that. It's right in my backyard.
Exactly. So take time this Labor Day weekend to enjoy all that the community has to offer. Not everybody gets to take the holiday off, so if you have to work, maybe you could do an evening trip or a Saturday trip or even a Sunday drive trip. So just take advantage of it and really enjoy the area. We really are so fortunate here, and we have kind of kept this little gem a secret from the rest of the world, but I think they're going to start to find out.
Do you have still at this late point of the summer a lot of visitors coming to the Chamber of Commerce?
It was really fun over the eclipse, Zeb, because we had people from Ohio and London and Spain come in.
Wow.
And they had come here for the eclipse, and then they had stopped by here at this visitor center, and so that was a lot of fun. And it is slowing down a little bit now that school is back in. We're not seeing as many locals, but it is a beautiful time to travel, so we are still seeing people from out of state. We see more people from out of state this time of year, I think, than during the summer.
Let me ask you.
It's a lot of fun. And they come from Texas and Michigan and Wisconsin, and they just are so complimentary of the visitor center. And I do want to remind the locals, if you are looking for fun Idaho gifts to give or send for Christmas or birthdays, we have a lot of really fun things here in the visitor center.
Wow. Let me ask you this, and I'm almost out of time here, but was the eclipse everything that Chris Fox thought it should be?
You know, Zeb, I don't think I've ever been more mad at myself than the fact that I did not drive 2 hours to see the totality. And sometimes 97% actually isn't good enough.
Yeah.
So I think that where I saw and what I saw was totally amazing. I was super excited about it. And but I must say I have a little bit of sadness in my heart because I didn't go the extra mile, which was really, a couple 100 miles, to see the totality. When people started coming into the visitor center from all over the world, I was like, wow, you're kind of an idiot. You only had to drive 2 hours.
You know something? You gave, right now, I think, the best dissertation of what you could have done and didn't do it and remorse afterwards. I sat there on my back porch and watched the eclipse through our official glasses that we got from the Chamber of Commerce. And I got to tell you something. I was left with a very hollow feeling of the eclipse to the point where I said on the air it was kind of like the Chevy Chase vacation movie when they went to the Grand Canyon. Chevy shrugged his shoulders after 5 seconds and said, "Okay, kids, let's get in the car."
That is true. I had a friend who actually, they went camping on a backpacking trip, and so they were up in the mountains, and she said it got really dark where they were and that she could see quite a few stars, and said it was quite a spiritual experience. And I had other people, actually the people who came into the visitor center said it was really fun to be there where there was a crowd, because the crowd, like a hush, just fell over the crowd.
Really?
And then they just let out a hoop and a holler and a cheer, and she said it was just, the girl that came in from England said it was just one of the most amazing experiences of her life. And she had traveled to 48 states. And she said, we kept saying, how are we going to go to Idaho? We don't want to camp. We don't want to fish. And she said, when the eclipse came to Idaho, she said, oh, we're going to Idaho for the eclipse. And she said, it did not disappoint, and that the people in Idaho were so friendly and kind that she would love to come back here again.
I was talking, I've got to wrap it up, but I got to tell you this. I was talking to some friends of mine back in the Midwest, and they had their little granddaughter with them watching the eclipse, and they did see the total eclipse. And the little girl looked up at her granddad and said, "Grandpappy, I hope it doesn't get stuck there."
How adorable. How adorable.
Well, listen, what are the one of 10,000 ways to get a hold of the Chamber of Commerce over there, Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, my goodness. You can give us a call at 679-4793. We would love to have any business in the area become a member. It's just such a great organization to belong to, and we try so hard to help to bring commerce to the area. And the more businesses involved in it, the stronger we become. And so we really would encourage people to investigate the Chamber and see actually what the Chamber has to offer business.
Absolutely.
Because we are here to serve businesses, and that's what our goal is to do. So give us a call. We're available at 679-4793, or you can stop in and see us anytime. We like to call ourselves the Chamber Ladies.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And God bless you, Chris Fox. Good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much, Zeb. Bye-bye.
You betcha. Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. Nice people over there. Don't forget Let's Ride. Ooh, yeah, where the fun is sold. Oh, my goodness sakes. All the four-wheelers, all the side-by-sides. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Get up in the hills and enjoy. Get away from the maddening crowd. I'll tell you what, I'm just still pickled. No, I'm not pickled. I'm tickled pink that we have our four-wheelers, and we're planning on a trip this weekend, as a matter of fact, to get away from everything with some dear friends of ours. And I urge you to stop over there at 270 Highway 24 in Rupert. Absolutely open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. All the four-wheelers, all the side-by-sides, all the accessories, great service department where the fun is sold. Let's ride. Stop over and see them today. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. And then after your call, I got to go with the Denny's football trivia. Don't forget, too, if you're over in that area, Rupert, Cameron, and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. And don't forget that they handle all your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more. They really are dedicated and responsive to your needs. Call the number, make an appointment, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, serving you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. How are you doing this morning?
I am fantabulous. What can I do for you, George?
Well, we've got biscuits and gravy. What have you coming up over at Ramsey's on the 14th?
Yep. As a matter of fact, all this next week, we're going to be really highlighting that. But I'm glad you called in. Rita's going to be on the air with us in about 10 minutes or so. But on the 14th, we're going to be celebrating, again, Patriots Week at Ramsey Heating and Electric on Thursday, the 14th. Remote broadcast. And old Uncle George is going to be out cooking biscuits and gravy early in the morning, starting at what, 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock. We're cooking 7 to 10. And man, I believe our fourth year that we participated at Ramsey's. And I must say, they sure go out of the way to accommodate us.
Well, George, you are an excellent Chef Boyardee. We appreciate you.
All right, and just to touch for a second on that eclipse, I had my digital thermometer set up in the middle of the yard. And after the total eclipse, it was 64 degrees. And by the time this eclipse completely gone, it went to 87 degrees.
Wow. It did drop substantially in a short period of time. That's the one thing I did notice is sitting on the porch, I said to Deanne, whoa, man, it's like all of a sudden somebody turned the air conditioner on.
Yeah, I got a little chilly there for a bit.
It did, my friend.
Back to Ramsey's on that. The proceeds off that will go to Zeb at the ranch and Kids for Christmas, you know.
Yep, we have...
families here. Hate to use the word needy. We got families just down and out, and we get to do Christmas, and we usually get gifts for the kids and a meal for the family.
I want to just say this real quick because I've got another segment, George, but I want to say thank you to you and Donna and all the years that we've had so much fun with our Zeb at the Ranch, Zeb's Christmas Corral for needy families, and that's what the proceeds are going to go for this year, so we can make sure we have a Merry Christmas we can provide for some people right here in this area. George Mass, God bless you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Zeb, and hope to see everybody there.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much. It is time for the Denny's Football Trivia Contest. And this is an easy one this morning. If you win, you are going to get a build-your-own Grand Slam breakfast from Denny's at 611 North Overland in Burley. Oh, America's Diner. The food is fantastic. You're going to love it. And I guarantee you, here's the question. Now, the first person that calls with the right answer is going to win the Denny's Grand Slam breakfast. I love breakfast. I love breakfast. Here it is. All you have to do to win today is name 3 NFL teams, and there are more than 3. Name 3 NFL teams that have a bird as a mascot. Name 3 of them. Call me at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Name 3 NFL teams that have a bird as a mascot. Call me right now, and whoa, somebody's hungry and wants a breakfast. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Would that be the Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks, Baltimore Ravens?
Okay, and you've won the breakfast, but name the others.
Oh, boy, I've kind of gone brain dead here.
Now, you mentioned the Arizona Cardinals, right?
Yes.
And the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
And the Baltimore Ravens, right?
Right.
You forgot two of the most prominent teams that have been bird mascots for years. One in particular that has had a whole bunch of bad luck trying to win the Super Bowl. I'll give you a little hint.
That'd be the Atlanta Falcons.
No, that would be the Philadelphia Eagles, but you got both those other teams. That's right. Hey, what's your name?
That's Leon Clegg.
Leon, you have won a breakfast at Denny's, and we're going to let them know that you're coming in, and you can build your own Grand Slam.
Sounds wonderful, Zeb. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your calling. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of teams that have the bird mascots in the NFL. Hey, here's some of the football games going on for high schools in our area. We want to get to that right now. The Burley Bobcats are going to be playing Buell this week. Canyon Ridge Riverhawks playing Ridgeview. Jerome Tigers taking on Wood River. Minico Spartans playing Century. Whoa. Twin Falls Bruins playing Pocatello. Wood River Wolverines taking on Jerome. The Buell Indians are, as I said earlier, are going to be playing Burley. Filer Wildcats taking on Marsh Valley. Gooding Senators taking on Bear Lake. And a real good game, Kimberly Bulldogs against American Falls. What's going on with the Declo Hornets? They're taking on Coal Valley. I believe they're playing tonight. Coal Valley, they're playing tonight. And the Wendell Trojans are taking on Aberdeen this weekend. Glens Ferry Pilots playing Hagerman. Hagerman's got a good team this year. And also the Oakley Hornets are playing Raft River. And let me see if I forgot anybody over here. Yes, I did. We want to get over here to this real quick. It looks like, let me go here, that Carey's taking on Camas County, and the Castleford Wolves are playing Richfield. Dietrich Blue Devils taking on Murtaugh, and Hanson Huskies playing Lighthouse Christian. There you go. That is our prep football for this weekend. And again, our thanks to Denny's. Oh my goodness, America's Diner, providing a Grand Slam breakfast to the trivia winner. And the winner this morning was Leon Clegg. Don't forget our friends. I didn't want to do a lot of the talking today with my cold and my raspy old throat, but man, I've been busier than a doggone workhorse out here this morning. Hey, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Please remember, they are the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cassia area, and they really, really want you to visit. They make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place. Now, maybe you've got a family member that needs that little extra help every day. Well, that's what they're there for, to provide one-on-one care. I urge you to call the number. I urge you to stop by and visit. 436-3200. Again, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, located at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. And they're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Don't forget Autumn Haven Assisted Living. Oh, my goodness sakes. In just a moment, we're going to have Rita Ramsey on our program, and I always look forward to having her on the air and discussing all the various things that are going on in the world of politics or the world in general. And there was something else. Oh, George called in a few moments ago, and we didn't get a chance to highlight this, so I'm going to say it again real quick. Coming up on September 9th at 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, right there at the Rupert Historic Square. I don't know why I have trouble saying Rupert Historic Square. I'd rather say Historic Rupert Square, so I will. It's going to be the second annual Patriotic Car Show and Swap Meet, and it's standing for the red, white, and blue. This is sponsored by the City of Rupert, Combat Vets Association, Rupert Veterans Memorial. They're going to have classic cars there. They're going to have race cars. Woo, yeah. And they're going to have lots of entertainment and food and a community flag retirement. So don't forget this at the historic Rupert Square, second annual Patriotic Car Show and Swap Meet. Gonna be a lot of fun. Anything that's organized by George, gonna be good. Gonna be good. Okay, Wheels, we had a little trouble with the phone lines last hour, and we had to play hopscotch trying to find the right line. I think things are coming through a lot better, aren't they?
they are, and it's just in time for you to have your interview with Rita, so it should be well.
Well, I am excited because here now, a lady that understands and knows all that's going on with the dilemma of politics in the United States, entering stage left and up to the podium, here's the lovely Rita Ramsey.
So do you get in trouble for false advertising?
Lady, don't hang that on me. You do a great job, and you should take the accolades, and you should stand there and beam from ear to ear.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That was very nice.
Let's get right to a serious problem in this country. And tell me, please, I'm asking you to tell me if I'm wrong. I want you to kind of slap me down a little bit. I am absolutely against any of the alt-right neo-Nazis and the idiots with the skinhead movement and all that kind of thing. But I am equally filled with despise against the alt-left with the Antifa and also the Black Lives Matter. But it appears to me, through the media, that there seems to be a tunnel vision, and I've cut out numerous stories that show this, that they will demonize, hate, and condemn the right, but you're pretty hard-pressed to find somebody that's going to come out against Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I remember as a child, and it's equally as important as an adult, and I've taught my kids this way, moderation in all things is what works best. So when you get these extremists that go one way or the other, you end up with nothing but misery because they won't go down the middle and say, okay, and I don't mean sitting on the fence deciding whether you should go one way or the other. I mean, if you can kind of take things in moderation, if you're right and you take things in moderation and do that instead of going this extreme stuff that just ends up to hatred and misery. And it's the same thing with the left. You start going way over the rails, you end up with hatred and misery. And the problem is that many Democrats, because of the Obama thing over the last several years, it's like we want to have our own way or else. And so they've actually gone way extreme left, and then they're promoting those who were extreme left to go way, way, way more extreme. And so it's really kind of sad because in this world, we have to get along. That doesn't mean we have to compromise, but we have to get along. And you can't get along if you're an extremist. I mean, just not in your system.
Well, I want to read just a paragraph out of a story that appeared in our illustrious Times News this morning. And just listen to this and give me your balance on what they said. Quote, exactly what kind of threat does Antifa pose? We would not for a minute equate it to the menace of violent ultra-right white supremacist groups, which are enjoying an ugly renaissance bred in part by the President Donald Trump. Now, that offended me. How about you?
Well, I didn't read it, but obviously they haven't read any of the accounts of people in that group showing up with their black hoods and their baseball bats and that type of thing, and their fire torches, and we can go on and on and on with what they've done. So obviously they're quite uninformed, and for an article to be in a newspaper, that's pathetic.
Well, they went on in that same sentence, and I excluded this. They said President Donald Trump has given to racial and religious intolerance. Now, I got to tell you something. Since this president has taken over, I haven't seen or heard the religious intolerance or the racial intolerance that I've heard with the Obama years, where honestly, I think Obama and Holder and the rest of them created more of a racial divide than ever since the 60s in Selma, Alabama. Would you agree with that?
Oh, that's absolutely right. The thing of it is they're kind of going back to, well, remember his rallies when people were there beating up on each other, and, Trump said, so go ahead and punch him in the face, I'll pay your doctor bills.
Yeah.
that was kind of a gut reaction, and I didn't think it was appropriate, but I don't think he literally meant, go ahead and beat the crap out of anybody you want to, and I'll pay your bills. But we do know that at those rallies, there were far left people inciting all kinds of violence. And if the truth were known, I think you'd find out that the people that were at the Trump rallies were not the Trump supporters for real.
Yeah.
They were there because they wanted to start fights and start violence and everything else to try to get it out of hand and take the spotlight off of Trump, which was, what he was gaining was all kinds of popularity with people saying, you know what, we're sick and tired of politicians. So I think somebody to write a newspaper or an article in the newspaper like that's just plain stupidity. They're just uninformed.
Let me ask you this, though. And, Rita, this is not an easy question to answer. And I'm going to pose it to you in story form. Number one, we are looking at Charlottesville as the low water mark, and everybody's saying Trump didn't do this right, he didn't do that right, etc. But you had two factions at Charlottesville that absolutely were bent on creating news copy, and they were bent on causing trouble. Okay, now we have Black Lives Matter. And an attorney for them, Black Lives Matter, was on television the other night, and she stated unequivocally that Black Lives Matter will go to any means, and they will do anything to resist this presidency and this administration. And then, of course, Antifa, with all the violence and the black robes and the hoods and everything else. What do? Honestly, I think, and I'm going to say this, and you can tell me how wrong I am, that we're not going to be able to stop this by singing Kumbaya and making chocolate s'mores and thinking they're going to sit at the fire and we're all going to get along and hold hands. I think that we're really going to have to crack down in maybe even a violent fashion to put these anarchists down once and for all and try to get this country back on even keel. How wrong am I?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think that Antifa needs to be declared as a terrorist organization and then dealt with the law. The other issue is if you've got white supremacists that are out doing things that are against the law and being harmful, they need to be prosecuted with the full extent of the law themselves. We can't live in a society where there's just total anarchy, and that's what both groups, whether they're right or left, are advocating, is that we, just let them be in charge and let them take the law into their own hands. You can't let a society have that happen and have it survive. It just won't. It'll burn down. We'll lose the Constitution. And then we'll end up having some socialist outfits decide, okay, we're going to be in charge. And they're sitting in the wings waiting for that. So that could happen. But you've got to enforce the law. You've got to be within the law with what you do. And the same as I said earlier, you have got to realize that we all have to deal with other people, and so let's get along. It doesn't take much to say, you know what, I don't agree with you, but I don't want to scratch your eyes out or kill you either.
Rita, recently there was a group that was basically just doing nothing but promoting prayer and thoughts of religious activities that could maybe, by prayer, bring more calm to our country. And they were marching, and bang! All of a sudden, Antifa shows up, and they were knocking people down, rolling them on the street, hitting them with sticks and everything else. So my point is, I guess, that we can't have this happen anymore in America. And if the police were told in these various instances to stand down, then somebody from a higher power has got to make these heads roll, because this kind of terrorist activity has got to stop, because more people are going to be killed.
Well, it really does, and the part that's bad about it is you've got somebody undermining somebody else all the time. And so, like I said, if you uphold the Constitution, whether you're a law enforcement officer or a politician or just a regular person, you're saying, okay, we will go within the law, and if there are things that are need to be addressed, we'll have them addressed by law officials, and if it has to go to courts or whatever. But when you've got these groups out there and you've got police, like they did in back east,
Charlottesville,
you've got groups and they literally tell their police to stand down and just watch it, so that, hopefully they'll just fight among themselves and everything will be fine. That's not their ulterior motive. Their ulterior motive is that they will have the country in an uproar, and things won't be going good, and it will reflect bad from whether it's President Trump or a governor or whatever.
Right.
The governor is the absolute person in charge of the state. So whatever state that happened in, the governor is really at fault. He should have stepped in and said, hold on, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But the city and the police chief and all of those, they had to have decided that early on. That wasn't just a gut reaction, just stand back and let's see what happens. It's like, okay, if they get out to where they're dangerous or they start damaging property, personal property or physical people, then we're going to haul them in. But they didn't. They just stood back and let it happen. So somebody had decided that early on.
Absolutely. And then we have the lovely, frizzy-haired Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the epitome of what the Democrats are trying to support. Oh, but then there seems to be a problem. Debbie and her IT man from Pakistan. Illegal money laundering and all kinds of bad things. There really is an investigation where at the same time we as taxpayers are spending millions on the Mueller investigation, which has turned into nothing more than a fishing expedition against Donald Trump. So you weigh it out. Which one really has caused perhaps more damage and harm to the country? A fishing expedition, they can't find anything on Donald Trump, or Debbie and her IT man that did a whole bunch of dastardly deeds? What do you say?
Well, we know darn good and well the IT people are the ones that are really causing the damage, and the problem is that when you get IT people that start doing things illegally, it gets pretty bad because they're wandering into places where they shouldn't be and where they don't have the right to be in there, whether it's personal information or government information or just exactly what it is. Generally, it's laundering money from one place to another so that they can, scam somebody, whether it's the federal government or their employer or a neighbor or just somebody that they think's got a lot of money that they can get away with doing this. So it's really sad to think that they won't say, this is against the law, we're arresting you, and we're going to arrest those people who are accessories to this happening. And if that was the case, Debbie Wasserman Schultz would have put it to an end a long time ago, but she is above the law, or so she thinks.
Yeah. I've never cared for Debbie Darlin', and that leads me also to another story that it just breaks my heart because I have so many friends and so many acquaintances in this particular region of the United States, and I'm talking about the severe flooding damage and the loss of homes and everything that these people had from Hurricane Harvey. What are your responses? Do you know people down in that area?
I have some family in Texas, but they're not in the area where they're having issues with the rain and flooding and stuff. I have a niece in Dallas, and I have an aunt in Austin. They're not experiencing that, and so I don't know of anybody there in the Houston area or in those areas to the east where they're getting pounded today, but I feel really bad. This is a place where Americans can open up their pocketbooks and help assist those that are down there. Those people that have lost their homes, and I think they said there were 40,000 homes that had been totally destroyed.
Yeah.
The people that lost those homes not only are going to have to rebuild, but between now and when the water sinks into the dirt and it's dry again, they're going to have some way to, have subsistence. They've got to have food. They've got to have a place to sleep. They've got to have water. They need to have means of transportation, those kinds of things. That's where Americans can open up their pocketbook and say, you know what, I can let go of $20 or $10 or $100 or whatever, and send it to one of the organizations that's on the ground there, that's helping those people with emergency things right here and right now. I'm not talking about the Red Cross necessarily. We saw what happened there when we all rushed to donate to the Red Cross on 9/11, but anyway, there's a number of groups, and a lot of them are through religious organizations and stuff. I know there's one that it's called Mercury One, and 100% of all of their stuff, they're out of Texas, goes to helping people with this kind of thing, mainly with water and meals and that type of thing. But there's numbers of them. There's lots of groups out there. People, open up your heart and your pocketbook if you can, and help. That's the only thing that we can really do. I mean, I can't take a boat and go down there and help clean up or anything, but, you know, maybe I could open up my pocketbook and say, I won't have pizza for the next couple of weeks, and here's my pizza money.
Yeah. Starting on Monday, and Rita, I'll be talking more about this with you, as a matter of fact, but not Monday, but Tuesday, actually, because Monday's Labor Day. Next Tuesday on the program, we're going to be opening up a funding that is going to go through my program, and it's going to go directly to an organization down in Texas, highly reputable. It's nothing more than just asking our neighbors up here to help a lot of our friends down in Texas. I know a lot of people down there. In the rodeo business, I've been all over that country and have many, many acquaintances, many of which are suffering and have lost their homes, quite frankly. And I'm going to do all I can to try to support them. But Rita, think about that area. I've been there so much, and it's a very hot, very humid part of the country. And can you imagine, I was talking about this yesterday on the air, the stench of what's going to be left there when the water recedes. I mean, we're talking about alligators. We're talking about all the venomous snakes in this area. We're talking about all the refuse, all the sewage problems, and everything with 50 inches of rain. And, of course, that envelops where they were swimming across streets and hanging on to the lights in the middle of the intersection. I mean, that's how deep it is down there. I can't imagine how these people are going to get back in shape.
Well, I know it's going to take a lot, and it's going to be really difficult. This morning there was a thing on the radio, on the news, that there was a chemical facility down there that because it had lost its power, its chemicals and stuff were starting to explode, and they were having all kinds of issues with that. So there are just one issue after the other. They're not going to get out of it by a long means. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those people didn't just have to leave the area for a certain amount of time and see if they can, avoid being mixed up in all of the other stuff. You know, around here when you have a little flood, you worry about the chemicals that they use for fields and crops and that type of thing, getting into the water and moving around and getting into places where it's contaminated water. Well, it's no different down there. They've got several feet of contaminated water, and people are wading through it trying to get out and just mainly survive. It's going to be pretty nasty. I got
to get a weather forecast here, but I was talking to a friend of mine in that area 2 days ago. And not to make a long story sound theatrical, but he was at his home. And he was at a little higher elevation, but less than 100 yards away from his home, it went down and the water was there. And he stepped out his back door and was greeted about 20 feet away by gators that had crawled out of the water and were sitting on his back lawn.
Well, that's what happens when nature has a disruption like that. the gators and the livestock or whatever end up going for refuge, and it's pretty nasty with gators and stuff down in that area. So I'm glad I don't have gators in my backyard, but that would really be like, okay, so now what do we do with them?
There you go. I've got to get a weather forecast here, and then I want to talk to you about a real problem that we talked about last week on the show. Stand by. Our weather brought to you this hour by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPAs that have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cache area for well over 50 years. They can and they will help you with your tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, payroll services, retirement planning, all of this and so much more. 2 offices to serve you, Burley and Rupert. Remember the best. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
This morning it's going to be a little bit on the stormy side, but after that we're moving into sunny skies now through the Labor Day weekend. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are looking at isolated rain showers and thunderstorms before noon. After that, everything's going to clear out. Looking at mostly sunny skies. A little bit on the breezy side. Could have gusts possible as 21 miles an hour. High of 89 for today. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low of 54. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 88. Then Saturday through Labor Day Monday, sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And the weather, of course, brought to you by the best of accounting services to the Mini-Cache area, the best of CPAs, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company in Burley and Rupert. And I urge you to get a hold of them. They can help you, your family, and your business. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Rita, we've got about 4 minutes left here, and there's a problem that is not going away. There's a problem that is getting bigger. It's being exacerbated because it's not being nipped in the bud, and I'm not even sure how to do it. But that's North Korea. They absolutely will not fade away. They will not stop testing. They scared the bejeebers out of the Japanese sending a missile over their country the other day, and now they're pointing their fingers at Guam again. What do you do with North Korea?
Well, North Korea goes on cue from China, and China is the one who's saying it's okay, keep doing what you're doing. You know, if you have to put a little fried into one thing or the other. But I think that we need to be reminded that if really the right things were happening, China would be set back on its haunches real fast by a president that's saying, hey, we're not going to put up with this, and we're going to have to start doing all kinds of sanctions against China. China has the biggest military probably in the world, but they do not have the type of things that it would take to win a war if you went to war and really were serious about it. You can do like it happened in North Korea when we were in Korea and we were fighting and they had their hands tied, our people had their hands tied, and China kept pushing in, you know, millions of military people to come in and do it. But really the best way to do it, and Nikki Haley said it quite well, is that we've got to make a statement. We've got to be harsh. We've got to make sure that they understand that this can't happen, and it's got to start with China, because China's the one who's given him the carte blanche. Just do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter.
I've had a lot of military people in this area, and for that matter, that listen to me on the internet all over the United States, call me and say anything from SEAL Team 6 or some undercover in the dark of night movement or whatever. But they said this man, this Kim Jong-un and his administration of terror and hate and killing, it can't go on. They have got to nip this in the bud with some finality sooner than later, because these people absolutely are bent on doing nothing more than starting a nuclear holocaust.
Well, and that's what my reaction was, you know, a few months ago when all of this started really escalating is, do you mean to tell me that with all of this special operations people and CIA and stuff like that, that there are in this world, not excluding the Russians or the British or any of those, that they can't go over and send that little guy in the pajamas with the bad haircut out of this world? I mean, it just doesn't make sense that somebody can't get to him and say, you know what, Buster, you're done.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be done if it was just him. It's a whole family, and it's a whole way of life. And so I'm not so sure that it could be wrapped up with getting rid of one or two or three or just a few key individuals. I think it's a whole bunch more, and like I said, I think it's China who's propping them up and saying, go for it. We'll back y'all away.
Rita, it's a very serious situation, and I just wished I had more time, but now I understand you're not going to be here next Thursday.
Right, I'm going to be out of town next week.
Well, while you are having a wonderful time, we will grovel on the air trying to figure out what to do without your lovely, sweet voice. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Eb.
All right, take care. Rita Ramsey, always look forward to having her on the program. Nice lady. Like I said yesterday, I had one meal yesterday, and I was starving to death. And today I've had my bagel at 4 o'clock this morning, and I got to admit, I'm really hungry right now. I know some great places to go for lunch, and they include the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, have you tried that chicken fried steak sandwich with the fries and the fry sauce, and maybe one of those great shakes that they make, all flavors? Oh, yeah. Or how about a Famous Farmer Brown burger? All of this and so much more. Fish and chips, shrimp and fries. Oh, it's all good at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, we can move over then to Taco Bandito, 2301 Oberlin in Burley, with the Taco Bandito burritos. They got a new pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. Oh, it's good. And you know what? Taco Bandito has bacon with jalapeno in it. And the breakfast burritos, oh, you're going to love all the food. Super great menu at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, burgers, etc. 2 locations. Yep. 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 Overland in Burley. Root beer floats, only 99 cents after 3 p.m., and fresh strawberry shakes, and delicious burgers, and onion rings, and all kinds of good things. Oh, and every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner special, only $5.99. You're going to love it. Everybody does. Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And let's move on over to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Ooh, food made the way you love it. And I'm telling you, I'm drooling all over the microphone. I'm so hungry. They've got cupcakes. It's a new deal. Great, delicious cupcakes. And Steve-O's has a new salad. It's called the Chaos Salad. Chicken breast, bacon pickles, jalapeno peppers, all kinds of goodies. You're going to love it. And buffalo burgers and a different soup every day. What are you waiting for? Get into Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And last but not least, Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. Voted again, best pizza in the Minicash area. You're going to love all the pizza and a fresh salad bar and the soups and the subs. Oh, my goodness. Everybody load in the Suburban. We're headed for Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. I am. Boy, I am. Right now we're going to head for the news at CBS. I'll be back in about 7 minutes. Don't you go away. Okie dokie. We've made it this far. We might as well continue. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, and I'm Zeb Bell. A little bit of a cold, but we're hunkering down and getting through it with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. I got a minute or two here, and I just really, I've been around horses all my life, and I just absolutely am so proud to have Jerry Zollinger and Zollinger Quarter Horse Ranch be a part of our program, because they've got their great big production sale coming up on Saturday, September 9th. Preview at 10 in the morning, sale at 11 up at the ranch in Oakley. And I'm telling you, the cover of their catalog says it all. There's a little bitty cowboy. I can't tell if it's a cowboy or a little bitty cowgirl on a great big horse. I think it's a little bitty cowgirl. And I'll tell you what, that's exactly the kinds of horses that you're looking at and that you need for your family, whether it's your kids, whether it's for you to rope on or ride for cutting horses, working cow horse, or just general enjoyment of horses. They've got a production sale up there, and I'm looking at this catalog, and I'm telling you what, they've got all kinds of horses to fit every kind of need. So why don't you plan on putting that on your calendar? You're going to be so glad you did, because their horses have been raised in the rocks. They know where to put their feet or where not to put their feet. Great minds, conformation, and an abundance of color. You're going to really enjoy these horses. Zollinger Quarter Horse Sale, 29th Annual Production Sale, September 9th, preview at 10, sale at 11, up at the ranch in Oakley at 1994 South, 100 East. Don't miss it. Be there where the Leo legacy continues. Right now, we're going to get ready for Cassia County School Days as soon as I get done tipping over everything on my desk. Excuse me. We are very, very appreciative of our two sponsors, and I want to say thank you very much to A Child's World, and they're located at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got everything over. It's a family store, and I mean, they've got all the little bitty ones, you know, all the blankets and the diaper hampers and the furniture, and they've got all the new fall dresses and the games and the puzzles and the toys. It's all there. You just be sure and stop in to A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center. Oh my, yep. Save money on outpatient surgeries like life-saving colonoscopies, carpal tunnel syndrome, hand surgery, all of this and more. Please call them and find out more about how they can save you money at Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue, Suite E in Burley, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County. And right now with us to kick off the brand new school year, the Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, Debbie Critchfield. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am well. It sounds like you're a little under the weather.
Oh, I'm trying to ignore it, but I'm going to take my own Zeb Bell remedy after I get off the air.
Which is?
Never mind, Debbie.
I'm here to answer questions, not ask. Is that what you're saying?
That a girl. Hey, the new school year, and the kids are in class, and they've got brand new lunch buckets if they're still carrying lunch buckets, and they've got brand new backpacks, and they haven't lost anything yet. Wow.
Well, I don't know. I think our lost and found always have something the very first day. It's always it's half.
Are you still there? We lost you for a moment.
Oh, yeah, that is weird. I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just hold the phone real still. Thank you so much.
Okay, will do. No, we're in session. One of our most noteworthy points, I guess, is that our enrollment is considerably up, and which is a great thing. I mean, that's our job, is to accommodate kids, and we're glad to see our area grow. But it always presents some challenges as well.
You know, wait a minute, stop. Let me ask a question right there. When you say considerably up, I mean, give us a point A to point B. Where are you on enrollment?
We're at 3% from last year.
Wow.
Which is, that's a good growth. We're nearly almost 150 kids, 146 students. This is district-wide. Primarily the growth is in Burley and Declo. Malta seems to stay flat over time. Oakley's had some continued growth, nothing that is spiked, but they definitely have grown. But our Burley schools, I think parents will notice. They'll feel it's going to feel a little tighter in there.
Are a lot of these families, have you done some tracer information? I mean, are they coming in? New business, I just had a weird sound in the background. It sounded like somebody getting hit with a shovel. New business people, are they coming to start a business? Are they going for already existing businesses? What's happening there?
It's new business. I've done a lot of visiting with our Burley Economic Group, and I even had a conversation this week with a realtor regarding, where are people coming, what are they looking for, and where are they wanting to settle. We try to gain some of this information and gather it, to make decisions, provide that to the board so that they have a sense of what's coming. But definitely new businesses. What I understand is that there's 400 jobs in creation right now in the Mini-Cassia area, and certainly they won't all land in Cassia County for Cassia schools, but definitely we're looking at considerable growth beyond even this year.
Let me ask you this, and I'm kind of shotgunning our approach here this morning, so forgive me. But what about these kids that maybe have come in from Ohio, or maybe from California, or maybe from Arkansas that have moved in here? I mean, they don't know anybody. They don't know the climate. They don't know the culture. They don't know what goes on in the school. You got to feel some sympathy for these kids. Have you got some kind of an induction program to make them feel more at ease?
No, I think their induction program is who they sit by in class, and I think teachers try to make sure that kids have buddies and someone to sit by at lunch, or someone sits by them, and that's always a stressful time, absolutely, to move into a new area.
Well, I remember when I went to high school from a one-room country school, and boy, I thought I was completely lost. I felt very inhibited. I felt very shy. And I never will forget the first assembly when they had everybody, freshman through senior, sitting in the gymnasium, and all Mr. Orrin Bull that time, he was the leader of the spokespeople telling everybody what to do. He said, "Okay, freshmen, go find your homeroom and stay there for the next hour." And I'm going, where in the blankety blank is my homeroom?
Yeah, I think our new freshmen at our high schools, I know there's a sense of, what hall am I going down to, particularly in Burley, where it's a larger school. There's a little bit of that. The second day of school, I was at our new elementary in Burley, Evans, and there were two little new kindergartners that were being pulled off of their mother's legs, gently pulled, and, kind of coddled a little bit. It's going to be okay. You're going to see your mom in a couple hours, but they were absolutely sobbing.
One thing I'd like to ask about, and I don't mean to put you on the spot on this, but it's just, that's how I do things. I just fly by the seat of my pants. What about the food? What about the relaxing of Mama Obama's edicts? And now we're seeing more of a relaxed attitude toward the kids can finally start getting something to eat maybe and fill them up. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm excited and I'm encouraged. And so this maybe sounds crazy, but with the former administration's rules, we had to have whole wheat spaghetti noodles. And I'm not bashing whole wheat spaghetti noodles. I don't want, hate mail on this. It wasn't a favorite for kids, and whole wheat crust for pizza, and some of those other ingredient requirements are being relaxed, and so some of the flavors and tastes that kids like and are used to, that we're able to bring some of that back.
I've maintained, and I've thought about myself when I was in school, that if you go down to hot lunch, and we had a wonderful hot lunch program, and if I didn't take a sack lunch to sit up in the main hall and have my own mom's cooking and sandwiches, I'd go to hot lunch, and they were wonderful, and I thought, man, this is good stuff. I never once complained about what the cooks served back in those days. It was really good. And it made for a better afternoon of sitting in the classes and learning instead of having my stomach growl.
Oh, absolutely. The food is an important part of learning and gets their brains going. And I know teachers, particularly in the elementary schools, they encourage students to bring snacks to eat at recess. And, obviously breakfast, we always encourage moms and dads to make sure that kids have something before they leave, and if they don't get it at home, there's an opportunity for them at school as well.
What about the kids? And I'm going to go back to the new ones that come in from out of the area, and maybe Johnny might be a sophomore in high school, and maybe little Susie might be in 7th grade. And nobody knows their likes or their dislikes. Nobody knows what they might want to compete in or be a part of extracurricularly. Woo! That was a bad big word. Anyway, how do you go about as a school district trying to make them fit in? And maybe Johnny wants to play football, or maybe little Susie wants to get into the play and the theater arts, etc. How do you know? How do you find out all this stuff?
The teacher is the critical touch point for our students in that way. And frankly, we really could do a better job. My brain's kind of starting to reel that what a great opportunity for teachers with new students to encourage them to be a part of clubs and other activities. And maybe they notice something, like you say, they notice something about Johnny that that child might have an interest in something. But our teachers are great to connect, and certainly counselors play a huge role in that as well. Counselors are, I think the state ratio is that, and of course this isn't Cassia County, but across the state it's like one counselor for every 400 kids.
Wow.
That is an area where our state could really do some improvement and really beef that up in a way that would help some of these issues.
Okay, now we've talked about the kids. What about the teachers? I mean, man, they must feel like they're overwhelmed. Some teachers must feel like, holy cow, circle the wagons, man the guns, here comes the kids. I mean, talk about the teachers. What about the first couple of days of school for them?
You probably can spot a teacher from a mile away in town. They're the ones with their hair out on end. But it's always a challenging time. You know, families getting back into a routine, teachers getting to learn about their classes, and how am I going to pace my lessons, and how is this year going to shape up. But one thing I do know is that our teachers, and I think that this is true nationally, teachers are some of the most dedicated professionals that we have. And they're certainly not in it for the money, and they're there to help and to mentor and to do all of those things. And I'm sure when they get home at night, they probably, put their feet up and, they need a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Debbie, is there any kind of an update or any other information you want to provide regarding the construction at various areas and schools?
Well, we're getting close in Declo and Malta, and we appreciate the patience of folks. And as always, I encourage people, if you're looking for something to do on a Sunday, take a nice drive around Cassia County and see some of the new facilities and see where your tax dollars have gone and how we've tried to address some of the issues that we have. But we're on budget, we're on track, and we have some other challenges that are popping their head up, and certainly enrollment in Burley is one of them. And as the board looks at how to address that, I know the community will be involved in those conversations.
The only thing I wanted to bring up, and then I'm going to turn it over to you for any other issues that I might have overlooked, but I absolutely cringe on especially the area and the road that I live on as to the lack of respect from drivers, whether they're driving a 4-wheel car or a 24-wheel semi, for school buses. I mean, for heaven's sakes, those kids on that bus and that driver, boy, they're not a target. I mean, please help them and try to be good, cautious drivers when you see that school bus coming.
That was going to be exactly my little final plug, would be to watch for students, watch for buses. I know it can be very annoying when you get stuck behind a bus that's making multiple stops and maybe you're running late for work. Please don't go around those. There are accidents nationally every year for hurried, inattentive drivers. And we ask that maybe leave a little bit early or turn your radio to your favorite song, but please be mindful of students and of buses. And know that we're trying to get them there safely, and we need our people on the road to help us with that.
You know, one of the things that scares me, and I just saw it the other night, I was behind about 3 cars, and the school bus stopped, and the kids were getting off the bus, and they had to go across the road to go to their residence, and some idiot came up behind and almost started to pass. And I mean, my goodness, the buses stopped, the lights are flashing, the stop sign's out, and these kids are crossing the road, and some nincompoop decides that he's going to pass the whole line. Please, drivers, be cautious and be aware.
I'd like to turn that into our district's PSA. If I could record you saying that, because we need the help. We need people to pay attention.
Anything else about the school year that you want to mention? I mean, everything's fresh as a daisy. What do you want to mention before we close it down?
We just hope that we can have a great year, and problems always come up. Communicate with your teachers, principals, central office, board members. Use those chains of command, and if there's things that concern you or you'd like to see, we always have an open ear. We can't always solve every problem and make it exactly how someone would like it, but we're always interested in knowing what people think.
You know, Debbie, I've got to compliment you, and I'm not saying this just to be gratuitous. You have done such a wonderful job, and I know my wife and I both thank you. On behalf of your being the Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, you have had every single week filled with something interesting on this Cassia County School Day segment, and we salute you and thank you so much for your help.
Well, we thank you for the opportunity. We've got a lot to showcase, and we're ready for a new year to provide you some callers that can give you some more good information.
Debbie, thanks much. God bless, and we'll look forward to next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Cassia County School Days and Debbie Critchfield. I'm not just blowing smoke. That lady has been absolutely phenomenal in getting all these programs lined up with various people of various positions, and I really appreciate her. Cassia County Schools Communications Officer Debbie Critchfield. And, of course, School Days in Cassia County, brought to you by two great businesses, and they are, of course, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 677-8888. I want to remind everybody that, while I still have a voice left, that on Thursday, September 14th, we are going to be over at Ramsey Heating and Electric all through our program, and we're going to have our Patriots Week special. We've done this, I think, for 18 years over at Ramsey's, and we're going to have a very, very special program with a lot of very interesting guests that have served this country, and we're looking forward to that on Thursday, September 14th from 8:06 until 11. And before that, at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have, of course, my dear buddy George Mass, and he's going to make biscuits and gravy for everybody at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be fantastic, so don't miss that on September the 14th. Right now, we're going to go back to the phone line, and here's the old Bobcat wizard himself, Juan, over at Barry Equipment and Rental. How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
You know, I've got a picture in my mind's eye of you showing up to work every day with a crash helmet on and ready to show somebody how to run a Bobcat.
Crash helmet, gloves, and boots, and we're ready to go.
Well, now, Juan, how long have you been over at Barry Equipment and Rental?
I've been going on for 3 years now.
Holy... Now, I really thought that you'd be the first person to call this morning trying to win that breakfast. You won a whole bunch of grub last year. How come you didn't call this year?
You know, I should have, but I actually had a broken fence, and I was chasing cows this morning.
I've been there, done that. Hey, tell us what's going on. What's special right now at Barry Equipment and Rental?
Well, we know that these farmers need to start getting to work, so we got all our skitzers and telehandlers polished up, ready to go, with all of the buckets, pallet forks, and we got hay forks with extensions so you can double up on your hay and stack too high.
All right, now, you caught me in the middle. I was trying to take a drink of water from my sore throat. Talk about a little bit, now, Bobcats, you got on the copy here, all shapes and sizes. What do you mean all shapes and sizes? You got itty-bitty ones and great big ones? What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. Right now we have a track skidster that's a 770 that can pick up those ton hay bales easy, no problem, put them on your trailer, get you going. We also have an S450. That's the smallest skidster that we have, so it can get in those small, tight corral places, so you can clean up and get going.
Now, you even can take a guy like me that is mechanically challenged and not good at running equipment. You can teach me how to run one of those things.
Absolutely. We'll just go down to the pit, have you pick up some stuff, dump some stuff, and take it full throttle so you can get a good hang of it.
Now, is it true that you go and hide behind a cement-reinforced wall while I'm out there?
Well, it depends on who it is. If it's you, I trust you a little bit. I'll be behind half a wall.
Okay. What about some of the other equipment? I had a caller the other day after the program, and they said, well, what about this sponsor you got on the air, Barry Equipment and Rental? What do they have? Give us kind of a list of your inventory.
Right now, we still have a bunch of everything. We have all our skidsters, loaders, and everything, but we also have our rental shop that has just small air compressors, paint sprayers, electric sewer snakes, nail guns, whatever you need, we'll get you set up and get you going.
And now explain the rental versus the purchasing. I mean, you can handle both of those, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. We have new inventory, and also we sell our used inventory. We go ahead and see how many times it's been rented out, and we'll make you a screaming deal on whatever you want. Everything's for sale.
Now, a screaming deal, is that a better deal than a regular deal?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the locations. Give us all the different locations and the hours that you're open.
Well, we got our corporate store, our Twin Falls store, off 465 Addison Avenue in Twin Falls. They are open 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, and 8 to 5 on Saturday. We got our Nampa location now. It's Monday through Friday. They're actually open 7 to 6. And same with the best store, in my opinion, is here in Burley. It's Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30.
Okay, now, Eli is at the Twin Falls location, right?
Correct.
And Eli is a great Green Bay Packer fan like I am. Please tell me that you're going to fall into that niche. Don't name another team. What's your favorite team? Go ahead and say Green Bay Packers.
San Francisco 49ers.
Goodbye, Juan. See you later. Thanks for your advertising. Is there a rumor? I heard a rumor. Is it true that San Francisco is going to try to have a professional team this year?
They're working on it. I sent them an email and gave them my opinion on stuff, and I think we're going to turn it around maybe a couple years, not this year.
You're an honest man. Listen, Juan, I really appreciate all the things you do over there, and for the best of equipment rentals and retail equipment sales, they have all the equipment to get the job done right. Barry Equipment and Rental, and there's a good old boy at the Burley location, Juan. Thank you much, sir.
Hey, thank you, and hey, you did a fantastic job at the Rupert Rodeo this summer. I told my wife that's the guy I talked to on the radio.
Well, I appreciate that. God's blessings to you, and have a great week. And try to win the breakfast next week.
Oh, I'll get it.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good guy. Right there. They're all good guys at 3 locations, Barry Equipment and Rental, Jerome, Twin Falls, and Burley. Thank you, Juan. We appreciate it. Coming up next hour, we're going to be talking to a lady about a very, very serious subject, and that's rabies. I don't think I've ever done a segment on rabies, and boy, you got to be so careful now. And Jamie Pride from Ark Animal Hospital is going to be on the air with us and really kind of lay out the nuts and bolts of what we got to watch for and how to be careful. So stay tuned for that. Right now, we're going to send it back over to our main studio. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
And welcome back into our last half-hour segment before we trail off into the horizon for Labor Day weekend. I am very honored to have Ark Animal Hospital on our program every day as an advertiser. But we're going to talk about something really, really serious this morning. And we have with us a representative of Ark Animal Hospital this morning, and that's Jamie Pride. Jamie, good morning to you. How are you?
Fabulous, Zeb. How are you?
Well, I am so appreciative that you would come on the air and talk about this problem of rabies. And I've got so many questions, and I'm going to ask some naive questions because I honestly don't know. But when you talk about rabies here in the state of Idaho, is it something that is a big problem every year?
I wouldn't say it's a huge problem, but the state of Idaho does test several bats positive yearly, and we just don't really hear about it. I believe this year we've had 11 bats test positive between Pocatello and Ada County, and so we're kind of right in the middle of that, so we could really certainly experience the same thing here in our own if we haven't already.
Well, let me ask you this, Jamie, and the thing I don't understand is what is the origination of rabies as far as who or how does the host animal that gets rabies, how do they get it? I mean, what starts it, a virus, or how do they get rabies started, if you will?
It is a it is a virus for sure. And it's transmitted through saliva or a bite wound, basically, is most commonly how it's spread. And then any of the, brain matter can also contain the virus itself. So the host animal would bite another animal, and then it would just continue the process. The scary thing about rabies is that a lot of people think that, 10-day incubation period, and they'll start exhibiting signs. However, in your skunks and raccoons, it can be as long as an 80-day host.
Wow.
And they won't exhibit any symptoms, and they'll continue to shed that virus throughout their little wildlife communities. And that's why it's kind of scary when people pick up orphaned raccoons or orphaned baby skunks, and they think that they're going to make a pet out of them. They could be carrying a rabies virus and certainly shed that to people, and people can shed that to more people. That's why the CDC is so intent on making sure that pets mostly get vaccinated against it.
Let me ask you this then. Vaccinated against it. That leads me into a conversation of what about humans? I mean, what is the threat to human beings of contracting rabies from bats or animals, etc.?
If you're in the vet medicine world, you definitely want to make sure you have your rabies vaccinations. As far as your pets, we're so rural. Most people live out in the county, and their cats hunt mice, birds, bats, and the dogs kind of do the same thing. And if they're not vaccinated against it, there is a possibility, although we haven't seen it in a domestic pet in Idaho for a few years, but there is a possibility they could contract it. And once they get it, it is fatal.
Okay.
And so there's no treatment for rabies for pets.
Okay, so there's no treatment for rabies for pets, but let's give a worst case scenario here, Jamie. You have a dog and he starts exhibiting not the personality that you have seen and lived around, and the owner all of a sudden is bit or is scratched by the dog. What should human beings do immediately?
If the dog is showing signs of abnormal behavior and becoming aggressive, and owner gets bit and dog is not rabies vaccinated, I would venture to say, first of all, get the dog into a quarantine situation to make sure that it doesn't have rabies, which limits its ability of contact with people. And then if you get bit and it breaks the skin, you really need to go get vaccinated against rabies.
Okay.
It is a reportable thing. That's why the hospital usually reports to the police department if there's a bite. And the vaccination series in humans, if you go in and get that vaccination, they'll have 4 repeat doses thereafter. So you go in, get vaccinated, return, I think it's on day 4, day 7, and day 14 after the bite for more vaccinations.
What about a scenario, Jamie, if, like I have had, and we tried to eradicate the problem over the last couple of years, we've had bats out in the barn, in my horse barn. And you'll go out there early in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're watering all the different horse pens and everything, and you'll feel continually like you're being swooped upon by these bats. What are the chances or the odds of being bitten by a bat and that creating the problem?
I don't think the type of bats we have here in Idaho is actually going to bite you, but if you get any of the saliva on you, if you pick up a bat that's laying on the ground that's acting unusual, I would say use gloves, use a shovel, don't pick it up with your bare hands.
Right.
Which brings to mind, if the bats are residing in your horse areas, horses can get rabies too, and they get most commonly what's called the paralytic or dumb form of rabies, where they just kind of stand around, they're a little bit drooly, they're acting colicky, and cattle can get the same form as well. So if you have a cow that's out in the pasture, slobbering, drooling, kind of not acting right, ranchers first thing is to get him in the chute and take a look in his mouth and make sure he's not choked on something or have a foreign object in there. I would say make sure you wear gloves because there again you're getting the saliva on your hands, and any micro abrasion in your skin can certainly cause you to then get rabies if the animal has that.
Well, what about horses?
It's kind of a scary thing, and I don't want to, cause a mass hysteria.
Yeah.
But just make sure that, you keep all your bases covered, because we do see it here in Idaho.
Well, talking about horses, no, and like I've got about 6 outside pens, and I've got 4 inside pens. Horses, I mean, what can you do? I mean, how can you protect them against like a bat swooping in or an animal at night? I mean, boy, it's kind of hard to be there 24/7, 365.
It is. And bats are great for our ecosystem. They really are. So I don't want to label bats as, this horrible, evil little creature, because they really take care of a lot of insect issues. I would probably direct you to call the Idaho Fish and Game and find out how you can reduce your bat population that's taken up residency there.
Is there any area or some certain environment where the problem of rabies is more predominant than others?
In our state, it just kind of depends. Year by year, we always see issues in Ada County and in the Pocatello County. More commonly, I'd say northern Idaho. Mostly we see the positive in northern Idaho, but it's moving south for sure.
Okay. Now, doesn't it surprise you, and you've been in animal medicine for quite some time, but doesn't it surprise you in general that with all the upticks and the knowledge in medical science that someone hasn't perfected a vaccine that would basically eliminate the possibility of rabies?
Well, here's, I'm not really knowledgeable on it. In my opinion, though, rabies vaccine is what we call a killed virus vaccine. So you don't actually inject the virus, whereas some of our other vaccines are what's called live virus vaccine. You can't exactly make a live virus rabies vaccine, or you're going to basically inject such a fatal disease into the people. And I think that's part of the potential problem. It's just like any of the other viruses and diseases we see. We've eradicated a lot of diseases in the human world through vaccination.
Right.
But it will pop up occasionally here and there with people who don't vaccinate.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just keeping everybody protected, really.
Is it a disease, and I hate to just put parameters on it, but is it a disease that thrives in warm and humid climes, primarily summer, and then dissipates or goes away primarily in the winter months?
Oh, not at all. Rabies is worldwide, so it's not just a problem in the United States. There's a huge problem in Mexico with dog rabies.
Okay.
So that kind of causes a lot of concern about animals crossing the border, and there's a lot of strict regulations about international transportation of animals and pets. But it is a problem worldwide, regardless of the climate.
Okay, so I guess maybe my thought was that if it's colder in the wintertime, let's say November through like March, the spread of rabies is still the same concern as it would be in the summertime.
I think it would be safe to say yes.
Okay.
Because the host animal is always a mammal, and they're a warm-blooded animal. They survive easily in the cold months as well. So if they're out hunting or, gathering, then they can certainly spread the disease to another warm-blooded animal.
Okay, but you're making an excellent point here that regardless of what it is, a dead magpie or anything, don't pick it up with your bare hands. Isn't that kind of what we should follow?
Really, you should. Yeah, it's just good, common, health standards. Wear gloves or use a rake and a shovel.
Okay, and the other thing
There's a lot of different other diseases, not just rabies. I mean, there's a lot of zoonotic diseases, and that means diseases that can be transmitted from animals to people and vice versa.
Absolutely. One thing I wanted to ask you about this morning, and we've been mentioning it on our program for about the last 4 weeks or so, summer season, the tick season, and boy, dogs can come in the house and they're scratching and itching on the kitchen floor, and mom and dad and the kids, they're also susceptible, aren't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because once a tick gets on a on a pet and takes their blood meal, they will eventually fall off and then lay their eggs. And usually that's in your carpet or furniture, which is a terrible thought. And then the little eggs will hatch and they can continue the problem.
Okay, now...
So, tick-borne diseases are certainly one of those zoonotic diseases. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is a common one.
Right.
Lyme's disease is another common zoonotic disease that we see from ticks as well.
You know, an obvious dumb question I've got is, like, I've got a little mini Aussie, part Corgi, Ruby, and she's so furry and long-haired. I mean, how do you find all these tick problems, maybe, if they've got into them?
I would probably recommend that you prevent the tick problems before you have the tick problems.
Okay.
So at the beginning of spring, typically, like this year, it was early. We saw ticks as early as February. I'd say starting in February or March, start giving them a preventative. Whatever brand you choose, make sure that it lasts a minimum of 30 days. I use a brand that lasts 3 months in my dogs so that I don't have to worry about it all summer, basically.
Okay.
I give it, and I don't have to give it again for 3 months.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Jamie, you have done an outstanding job, and I'll tell you, I don't know how much Dr. Bill's paying you, but ask for a raise.
I will.
Okay. Hey, let's give
He'll take your advice, but I'll let him know.
Let's give a little shout-out to Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street, and that's in Hayburn, 678-1177. And Warm Hearts for Cold Noses, mixed animal practice, big or small, you love them all, right?
Absolutely, Zeb. Thank you.
Hey, God bless you. You did a great job, and I hope you'll come back in the future.
You bet. Thank you, Zeb. You get to feeling better.
Oh, thank you much. Thank you.
And if you start drooling, have Deanne bring you in.
God bless you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, nice lady right there. Jamie Pride with Ark Animal Hospital. Thank you very much. Boy, I tell you what, back in Wisconsin, in the summertime, there are bats galore, and I remember all the warnings that would go out for rabies and warnings, and oh boy, you had to be really, really careful back there. I got to get a weather forecast on here, and then I'm going to ask you to give me a call and help share the wealth, if you will, for the remainder of the program so I don't have to do all the talking. I want to remind everybody that our weather being brought to you this hour by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, Don Scarrow and the rest of the crew. Number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to the website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, yeah, delicious meats. I'm talking about salamis and brats and sausages and jerky, and all the list goes on and on and on and on. You're going to love it, Scarrow's Meats. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
This morning it's going to be a little bit on the stormy side, but after that we're moving into sunny skies now through the Labor Day weekend. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are looking at isolated rain showers and thunderstorms before noon. After that, everything's going to clear out. Looking at mostly sunny skies. A little bit on the breezy side. Could have gusts possible as 21 miles an hour. High of 89 for today. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low of 54. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 88. Then Saturday through Labor Day Monday, sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb.
And Gina, thank you. The weather brought to you by Don Scarrow and the Scarrow's Meats crew. You better believe it, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. I mean, man, they've got it all over their assortment of specialty meats in their retail department. Oh, my goodness, it is good. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Scarrow's Meats. I really, really would appreciate somebody giving me a call. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about for the remainder of the program this morning. I just thank the good Lord above that I was able to get through the program. I wasn't so sure when I got up at 4 o'clock this morning and I said, "Good morning, Deanne." I couldn't talk very good. I had this cold settle in yesterday, and I just think everything's going a lot better than I thought it would. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please get on the landline right now and give me a call. Let me see what else I've got here on my list of goodies for today. We talked about that Indiana teacher that told all the students in the class you can't mention God or Jesus in her class, and whew, she's in a heap of trouble. Good. I'm glad. And deserves a reprimand. Oh, thank you, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. Say on another note here, the Grease Monkey in Rupert, along with the Rupert Veteran Memorial, is going to have a Mobile One NASCAR and car show September 17th.
You know, George,
So we would like to have everybody bring the cars down, and we'll have food and have a pine car derby for the kids.
Absolutely. We're going to hit that, but I was a little hesitant to say too much that it might diminish or confuse the listeners before your great big patriotic car show on the square. So I was a little hesitant. I was going to wait on that until after yours was over.
That'll work fine, sir.
All right, and by the way, behave yourself. Anything that you're connected with is going to be first class, George. By the way, let's give another plug that you're going to be cooking breakfast over at Ramsey's on September 14th. Biscuits and gravy. Boy, it sounds good to me.
It is, and we've always done good. Ramsey Electric, they've always gone all the way to accommodate us. Wonderful place to do it, and all of our friends, old buddies, and a lot of our sponsors, what have you, stop by and have breakfast so we can help the young family out at Christmas time.
You know, let's talk just a little bit about that, and I want to emphasize that thanks to you and Donna and my wife Deanna and myself, we have started. How many years have we been doing this, George? Maybe, 7 or 8?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And we started a little kind of a Zeb at the Ranch Christmas corral, if you will, and we try to garner money to help some of the needy families in the area. And the proceeds from the biscuits and gravy is going to go there on September 14th. And boy, I tell you, George, there is nothing better in the whole wide world than seeing a small child, boy or girl, smile after they get their Christmas presents.
That's true, Zeb. And you and Deanna and Don and I, we've done the Santa Claus thing with these homes. And out there, they sure pulls on the old heartstring there a few times to some of these families.
Absolutely. Boy, George, I'll tell you what, with your trailer, your breakfast trailer, if you will, they could sure use your help down in Houston, Texas right now in that area because, boy, I just don't know how all these people are getting meals, food of any kind, because it is a mess down there.
It is. And, Zeb, I heard earlier you're doing the funds for that.
Yes.
Yes, we can put together maybe some kind of a community free donation on food and see if we can't raise up some good money.
Well, I tell you, we're working, as a matter of fact, Deanne's been working on putting this all together, and we're going to have all the particulars ready next Tuesday. I'm not going to be on the air Labor Day, but we're going to talk about this next Tuesday and lay it all out, and we certainly hope that my audience will help contribute.
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised. Well, you ain't going to be surprised, Zeb. You've got a good audience. Your sponsors are wonderful, and it's just, and speaking about sponsors, those poor devils, they get beat to death every year from donating and helping out throughout the community and the nation, and they need to be commended for it.
Absolutely. George, I want to wish you a very happy Labor Day weekend, and keep on cooking. Get your apron on, buddy.
Well, I've got 5 cookouts next month, so I'll stay busy.
All right, buddy. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zeb, and thanks for what you do.
All right, George. Take care, buddy. One of the nicest people I've ever had a chance to know. He and his wife, George and Donna. God bless you. Thank you so much. Hey, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to take care of this little bit of business, and it's not even a chore because I love talking about these people. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, my. my, all 7 locations serving you. And their slogan is, for this month, get where you're going this summer. And my slogan would be, and then turn around and come back home safely, on all the tires that they have at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You know, I don't care if it's for your pickup, your SUV, your car, your trailers, whatever. They know tires, and they know exactly the kind of tread design and the tire that would best fit your driving needs. So stop in. Any one of the 7 locations can help you. And, of course, with that, they've got the best in brake service, and I mean that. The best with highly trained technicians. Front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more. But, you know, I got to tell you, the service is fantastic. They come running out to your vehicle at a high low. May we help you? And they do. At all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Now, we're going to take Monday off, Labor Day off. We never are on the air during holidays. And I know a lot of you are going out kind of the last hurrah of summer. Maybe you're going camping, fishing, whatever you're going to do. I urge you to be careful out there. The roads are not the best. I mean, we're seeing overabundance of traffic on roads because some areas are under construction and people are trying to reroute and go someplace else. I urge you to please be careful out there and don't let your patience get the best of you. I say that from a guy that knows. I can get really upset sometimes, so please drive carefully out there. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, I just wanted to say this. You know, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, any type of a protester who is out here creating anarchy, and even now, with these people down in Houston that have suffered. I mean, I've never been through a flood other than the one that we saw here in Metacasia. And I'm not saying it wasn't bad for the people who suffered, because it was. But I never suffered. But the kind of flooding that is going on down there is something to the likes I had never seen. And see, just don't have no idea really the scope and the disaster of it all.
Yeah.
But here we have people who are from Idaho down there right now volunteering.
Yep.
And there's people coming in from all over the world and from the country down there, and they're not asking for money, not asking for recognition. They're not doing anything but pitching in. Now, these are the kind of people that vote for Trump. And yesterday when I heard that the gross national product was up to 3% or somewhere close, better than it's been in 16 years, see, these are the kinds of things that are happening with the Trump presidency that nobody can stop, including these filthy media and the rest of these protesters.
I agree.
Doing anything to help the poor victims in Houston.
I agree with you. You know, Randy, I'm really excited for next Tuesday to get on the air and ask for participation in helping those folks. And by the way, thank you for your phone call. I've got to run right now to CBS News. I wish you and your family a very happy Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, everybody be careful. Watch that freeway. She's a little sticky. Hang up.
That's true. Thank you. God bless everybody. Zebeth Ranch will be back here next Tuesday after Labor Day. And right here on KBAR 1230, streaming live on the internet, zebbell.com. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. God bless you and your family.